Peanut Butter Crackers by Callum. Part 1, Fox and Hound. A Saturday in October 2010, nighttime, around 10 p.m. A high school hallway somewhere in the northern part of the USA, with a door upstage left leading into the gym. Joey, 16 years old, is sitting against the wall, hugging his knees and slowly rocking his body back and forth. He's wearing a plaid button-down shirt, black dress pants, and a pair of nice brown shoes. His hair has been brushed, though not very well. Muffled music from the gym can just about be heard. Joey raises his head as if he's heard a loud noise.
Hello, I am a dog. I know you're not supposed to say what you are, but I want to. It feels better this way. It's not easy being a dog. When you're a dog, humans can't understand you. They just hear you barking and assume you want food or need to be let outside when all you really want to do is be noticed for 1 second. Humans think that dogs love unconditionally, but it's much, much more complicated than that. They can only see what's on the surface, the tip of the iceberg, the part of the bone that's sticking out of the dirt in the backyard. Excuse me, I need to rest my paws for a minute. I like the day. Even if I just go for a walk in the morning and then sleep through the rest. No matter how hard I try, the night always comes.
The door opens, and the music gets louder for half a second. Hallie, 16 years old, enters. She's wearing a pretty dress, high-heeled shoes, and carries a purse on her left shoulder.
Hi, Joey. Are you all right? Maddie Klein said you were crying.
Dogs can't speak English.
What happened? Why did you run out?
I've got a weak heart.
Joey, please say something normal.
The words you are saying are gibberish to me.
This is why people don't like you, Joey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I wouldn't have come out here
You didn't have to come out here, Hallie.
I know. Hey, wait. You noticed me.
No, I didn't.
You responded.
No, I didn't.
You so did. I bet I could get you to look at me. Joey. 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 Is it okay if I just sit with you? We don't have to talk. I actually kind of like it out here. It's still loud, but it's not loud, you know? Oh, I like your shoes.
Thanks. And you.
Have you started looking at colleges yet? My mom and I are going on a trip over winter break. What did you do today?
I went to the dance.
No, like, what did you do before?
Nothing. I wasn't gonna go.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of made up my mind that there was no point. I knew that it was still going to happen. Nobody would miss me. Then I went into my parents' liquor cabinet and dug out this big bottle of whiskey. I don't even know why I did it. It was like I couldn't control myself for a second. It was weird. So I just drank from it like it was a bottle of water, which it wasn't. I thought I was gonna choke, and once it stopped, it was weird. I actually wasn't scared of going to the dance anymore, because how much worse could it be?
Are you drunk? Is that
No. I think I was for a bit, but I'm definitely not now.
So, would you rather be at home right now?
Well, if I were at home right now, I'd probably be listening to Hounds of Love on my parents' stereo, so yeah. I'd probably be happier.
What Sounds of Love?
It's an album by Kate Bush.
I've never heard of her. Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it better than talking to me?
It's a really good album.
What are her songs about?
Love, death, magic, sometimes all three.
I like songs that tell stories. Those are my favorite songs. Can I tell you something really embarrassing?
Sure.
I really like opera. Like, I love it. I listen to it when I walk to school and in study hall sometimes. If someone asks me what I'm listening to, I just say Fall Out Boy or something. But I'm really listening to opera. Opera tells a story. It's usually in another language, though, so you have no idea what's going on. But that just makes it better. My mom was an opera singer. She stopped a long time ago. She hasn't sung in a while, actually. I used to make fun of her for singing all the time. I wish I hadn't done that. Don't tell anyone that I listen to opera, okay? If Maddie found out, I honestly think I'd die.
Sure.
Why don't you talk? You're always so silent. People think it's because you hate everyone. But I know you don't. I just think you're misunderstood. But you can change that, you know? You can talk to me. I'm no different from anyone else at this school. You could have lots of friends if you just tried a little
I'm
harder.
sorry, but you have no fucking idea what you are talking about. Making friends is easy for people like you who are liked. All I can do is just stay out of the way for a while. Then I'll go to college and start over. There's nothing for me here.
Joy, that's 2 years from now. Do you really want to wait that long?
What else am I supposed to do?
Remember when we played in my backyard? That trail leading out to a little creek in the woods? We used to try to catch crayfish. I asked you if I was your best friend. You said yes. And then I asked you if you cared that your best friend was a girl. Remember what you said?
I don't care. I'm just glad I have a best friend.
I missed when you'd come over every day. Why did we stop doing that?
You decided I wasn't important enough.
That's not what happened.
Fine. But it is what happened. Since we started high school, I've only been over to your house 3 times. And we only talk to each other when we're in the same group in AP English. You stopped being my friend.
I still care about you. You know that, don't you, Joey?
You abandoned me. That's the only thing I know for certain. Well, that's not exactly true. I know what I've learned in school, like Newton's third law. We learned that in physics last week, remember? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This whole time, I've just been reacting to you.
Okay, you're right, I've been terrible to you. But don't you believe that people can make things right? Or at least try to? Maybe it's too late, maybe you're right not to believe me. But you've got to, because I don't think I can live with myself knowing I'm the reason you have no friends. You're silent again. Would you say something, Joey?
No.
Wait here. I'll be right back.
Hallie walks back into the gym. Joey sits still. Then, Kate Bush's Hounds of Love is heard from inside the gym. It is a total departure from the music previously being played, and one can imagine the puzzled looks on the faces of the high school students as it begins. Not long after the song begins, Hallie enters through the door and props it open slightly with her purse. Joey leaps to his feet upon seeing Hallie, like a dog whose owner has just come home. He cannot contain himself. For the first time in the scene, he looks happy.
How did you... This is Hounds of Love. This is my favorite. How?
I gave the DJ $5.
You want to know why I ran out?
Yeah, if you feel comfortable with
No,
something.
I want to tell you. Everybody was dancing with each other, but I didn't want to step on anyone's shoes, so I was trying to make myself feel okay by thinking about how the dance really didn't matter, that before I knew it, I would be back at home, and that in a few years I'd barely remember this night and how scared I was. But then it got out of control. I started thinking about life and death and space, and how when you really look at it, you're basically nothing. Like when you have a really, 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 really small number, you can just assume that it's zero. So I had to run out of the gym to prove to myself that I was alive.
Wow.
It happens to me sometimes. Not a lot. It helps to be something else for a while. It helps you forget what it's like to be with yourself.
You want to dance with me?
What?
Dance with me. We're at a dance. Dance is you dance.
I've never danced with a girl.
Just follow my feet.
They begin to move. Hallie guides Joey while he stares intently at his feet. After several awkward steps, she leans in and kisses Joey. At first, Joey is shocked and tries to pull himself away, but he ends up reciprocating. The kiss is purely innocent, no tongue. They discover new worlds with their mouths.
Joey, I love you. I've loved you since before I was old enough to love. I have this deep, deep love for you. It's like one of the only things in my life that I know for sure. It's constant. It never changes. I'm never not thinking about it. And it's bigger than anything I've ever known. It's like a blue whale. Joey,
Yeah?
do you love me?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, for real, the way I said it.
I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm scared. I'm tense. I'm anxious. I'm cozy and warm in my bed, but I can't sleep. It feels like someone shook up a can of Coke and opened it inside my stomach.
I think that's how it's supposed to feel.
Is love always this terrifying?
Maybe it gets better. Maybe it's only scary at first. Practice makes perfect.
What am I supposed to do with this, with all this love you're giving me?
Hallie removes her purse from the doorway and takes out a pack of peanut butter crackers and hands it to Joey.
Just put it in your pocket for later.
Part 2. Capture the shirt. The first day of school, 2005. Afternoon, around 3 p.m. The woods behind a house in a small town, the same town from the previous scene. Joey and Hallie, who have just both started 6th grade, are sitting on the ground eating peanut butter crackers.
What bird is that?
That's a house sparrow.
What about that one?
That's a mourning dove. It sounds kind of sad, don't you think?
What's so sad about mornings? They're my second favorite time of the day, after lunch.
No, mourning with a U. It means sad. A different, yeah.
Okay. So can I say, I'm really mourning that school just started?
I don't think so. It means sad, but it's a special kind of sad. For when someone's just died.
Oh.
Last year when my grandma died and I missed school to go to the funeral, I was in mourning. Do you hear that? That was a woodpecker. There are so many really cool birds out there. A lot of them don't live around here though. Like the superb lyrebird.
Super what?
Superb lyrebird. They're from Australia. There was a special on Animal Planet about them last week. They can imitate any sound they hear. They showed one that sounded like a chainsaw. Isn't that so cool?
Wow, that's really cool.
I'll tape it for you if it comes on again. I think they're my favorite bird. What's your favorite bird?
I don't know. Robin, I guess.
Did you know there are 2 different kinds of robins? There's the American robin and the European robin. They're both called robins, but they're actually totally different kinds of birds. The American robin is a thrush, and the European robin is a flycatcher.
You're so smart, Joey.
I'm really not. I almost failed math last year.
I thought you were good at math.
I knew everything. I did great on all the homework, but whenever I went to take a test, it was like my brain switched off, and I just forgot it all. And then I'd get the test back with a bad grade, and I'd try to explain to Mr. Donahue that it wasn't fair, that I knew all this stuff, but he wouldn't listen. And then I freaked out. I'm glad you're not in my math class last year. I don't want you to see me freak out. Do people think I'm weird?
I don't know. People talk about you sometimes, but I don't listen.
What do they say?
It doesn't matter.
Is it bad?
It's bad.
Bad how?
Trust me, you don't want to know.
Come on, just tell me.
Why do you want to know anyway?
I don't like it when people say mean things about me when I'm not around, but I think if I found out what they were saying, it'd make it a lot better. Even though at first it'd probably make me feel like lying in bed and playing mummy with the covers, eventually I think it'd give me a superpower.
What kind of superpower?
Like, if I pass one of the people who talk about me in the hall, they'll probably be making fun of me in their head. And I'll know that's what they're doing, but they won't know that I know.
So, you could read minds.
Yeah, sort of.
Can I try to read your mind?
Okay.
Alright, Joey. We're thinking about
Blue Jays.
No. I actually was thinking about Blue Jays a minute ago, though. The baseball team, though.
what were you thinking about?
Water. How it has no color or shape or smell or taste, but we can't live without it.
I think water has a taste. My mouth always feels different after I drink water.
People are 70% water. Do you ever wonder what you'd look like if you had all the water sucked out of you?
Probably really gross.
Yeah, probably. I think it's a common starling. They're not native to America, but people brought them over and now they live here too. They fit in just fine. Will you tell me now?
Fine. Just please don't get upset. And promise not to tell anyone.
I promise.
People think you're nuts. Like actually insane. They say that one day your mind's gonna snap in half. And then you'll bring a gun to school and try to shoot everyone. They laugh about it. Isn't that just terrible? I don't agree with them at all. I think it is stupid and immature.
How could I even get a gun?
My mom says it's really easy to get one. She thinks they should be illegal. But my dad thinks that if guns were illegal, then the bad guys would still be able to get them, and the good guys wouldn't be able to protect themselves because they can't break the law. My mom tells me that the world isn't a comic book. That there aren't any good guys or bad guys. But sometimes I wish there were.
Do your parents fight a lot?
Not as much as they used to. They were fighting all the time last year because of the election and the war and everything else, come to think of it. Now I only see my dad on Saturdays. We get ice cream.
Do you think the war is ever going to end?
It has to sometime.
Do you know about the draft?
Yes, that's when all the cold air gets sucked into your house.
This is different. Once upon a time, there was this really bad war, and the army wasn't getting enough people to sign up because a lot of people didn't want the war to happen. So they made everyone over 18 register for the draft, and if they picked your name, then you had to go to war. You had no choice. Lots of people died, and they weren't even ready. They could have just stayed here and gotten a job and had a family, and now they're dead.
Gosh, that's awful.
And people also really don't like the war that's happening now. So what if it goes? What if the same thing happens and it goes on for another 8 years and they pick me? I think if that happens, I'll move to Canada. I was born there, so I'm a citizen.
How were you born in Canada?
So my parents, they're both artists. Like, that's how they met. My dad was looking at my mom's painting, and he started talking to her, and he didn't even know that she was the one who painted the picture he loved so much. And then she became the person he loved so much. That's what he always tells me.
But what does that have to do with Canada?
I'm getting to it. That was just a prologue.
I like that word. Where did you learn it?
In Mr. Davis's class, he said it's the part of the story that comes before the story, but is still part of the story. Anyway, they had this gallery opening in Montreal, and I came a week before I was supposed to, so they just had me there. My mom says that the doctor spoke French to her at first, but the pain was so bad she couldn't say anything.
It must hurt a lot to make something you love.
Yeah, probably.
Do you really move to Canada? I can't imagine being anywhere but here.
Do you want to live somewhere else?
Of course I do. I hate this town. It's cold and gray and it smells like a campfire all the time. But I don't know if I could live in a different country.
Well, I'd only move if they picked me.
They won't pick you. I won't let them.
I love you, Hallie.
I love you too.
Can we play capture the shirt?
I think I'm getting a little too old for that.
Come on, it's so much fun.
Can't we just play Park Ranger or something?
I don't want to play Park Ranger. Park Ranger is stupid. It's a game for babies. We used to come here every day and eat crackers and play capture the shirt.
Joey, I don't like your tone.
Last time you said we shouldn't play for a while, and it's been a while. Can't we just play one last time?
Joey explodes with each word, stomping on the ground and completely tensing up. He then grabs a nearby stick and starts vigorously digging into the ground. He finds a few worms crawling around in the dirt and pulls them above ground.
I'll do anything for you. I'll eat worms. I'll cover my face with dirt. I'll scratch myself with a stick until blood comes out. I'll climb a tree and jump off the highest branch, and I won't care if I get hurt because nothing matters if I can't play capture the shirt with you.
No, you shouldn't say those things.
Just play with me. Then I'll stop.
You promise?
I swear to God.
Fine. But we are never playing again.
Joey puts the worms back into the ground.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you.
It's nothing really. It's just supposed to get me ready for when they come. I told you I didn't want to play.
Sorry.
Joey, I don't think you can come over anymore. At least not every day.
Why not?
My mom says that my homework is going to be a lot harder now that I'm in 6th grade, and since I also have soccer and Girl Scouts, I can't have friends over during the week.
So no more play dates?
Not on weekdays.
Can I still come over and watch cartoons on Saturday morning?
Yeah, sure. We can still do that, and you can still sit next to me in first period and tell me about your dreams and everything.
You're still my best friend, right?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I just don't think I'm supposed to be best friends with boys anymore. I'm supposed to start liking boys soon, and then in a few years, maybe one will ask me out. It doesn't feel right. But that's what all my other friends say. Maddie and Julia and Phoebe and Emily. And I really want to fit in with them.
Why is that so important?
Because you've got to have lots of friends. That way someone always has your back.
I'll have your back. Always.
That's sweet. Thanks, Joey. I've got your back too. No matter what Julia or Maddie or the whole school thinks. I mean it. I'll make sure that no one makes fun of you. And if I'm popular, they'll have to listen to me. It'll be like our top secret plan.
Hallie,
Yes, Joey?
promise you'll never stop being my friend.
I promise. Joey. That felt weird.
I'm sorry. I don't think I ever want to do that again.
Me neither. Let's forget it ever happened.
They stand together, and I do not forget.
Wind's blowing the leaves off the trees, and the summer's over. I'm scared of winter, Hallie.
It's not so bad. There's snow and Christmas. It's fun for a while.
We should probably go inside.
Yeah. Don't forget the wrappers. What bird is that?
I don't know.
2015, lunchtime around 1 p.m. A small, independently owned coffee shop somewhere outside of a large American city. Joey and Hallie, now in their final year of college and home for winter break, are sitting at a table with half-drunk cups of coffee and empty plates with muffin wrappers on top. Joey is wearing jeans and a flannel shirt that is at least 2 sizes too big for him. His clothes give him an air of casual handsomeness. Hallie is wearing a subtly festive sweater. Her beauty has matured. They have been catching up.
So, there was this girl named Joey.
You had the same name?
Yeah, it was short for Josephine or something.
Wasn't that awkward?
Not really. She was like super hot. Anyway, she was in my intro to philosophy class and we were like working on this assignment together. We were all assigned a philosopher from history and we had to make a presentation about them. This is the kind of shit I thought we wouldn't have to do in college. Anyway, we got Nietzsche and I was like freaking out because we were supposed to read a bunch of his essays and I completely spaced out on doing it. So I talked to Joey and explained my situation, right? And I thought she was gonna like lecture me about responsibility or something. She just said, yeah, it's okay. I just skimmed them. The language is so fucking dense and like you only really need to know a few basic concepts. So we just sat in her room and got high and she explained it all.
So is that when you knew you liked her?
Well, yes and no. Like I had always been attracted to her, but that night I realized that this was someone I had like a real intellectual connection with, you know? That's something I'd never really had before.
So what'd you do?
I didn't do it. So one day after class we were eating lunch and I mentioned some movie. I don't even remember what movie, but only that she'd never seen it. And I was like, you've got to. Like, one day I'm just gonna text you and we're gonna watch this movie. And so I did. And we were watching the movie. I wasn't really paying her much attention, but then I felt her hand brush against my thigh. The moment wasn't right, and it was probably an accident, but I went for it anyway. So I kissed her. And she pushed me away, stood up, and said that did not just happen. And then not like in a catty way, like she was actually trying to go and do it. Then she walked out of the room. She pretty much ignored me after that. She started sitting on the other side of the classroom, and whenever I walked past her, she'd be checking her phone or looking at her watch. Some of the time, she wasn't wearing a watch.
Joey, that's awful.
You want to know something funny?
Sure.
We were watching the movie in her room,
Oh, God.
and I didn't leave.
Didn't it feel awkward?
Not really. I wanted to finish the movie.
She didn't come back?
No, I just like figured she wouldn't. Sometimes you can tell when a person walks out of a room that they have no intention of coming back.
So you just finished the movie, huh?
Well, what else was I supposed to do?
I still think my story's better, though.
Well, I don't know if better is the right word.
Yeah, maybe not. So I was at this frat party, and I met a guy named Blake.
God, I hate him already.
It's not what you think. He was sensitive. He listened to sad music. And he wasn't even part of the frat. He went with his roommate as a joke. So then we started talking and laughing, but after a while it stopped being a joke because we were in the bathroom and he had his tongue in my throat. Eventually he started coming over every Thursday night. And it was kind of a big deal. I'd never had someone come over every Thursday night before. And it was fun for a while, but then it got kind of boring. He never lasted more than a minute, and he'd always leave right after, or he'd fall asleep. So one night I said to him, "Young man, you are going to give me an orgasm." Those exact words. Like I was his goddamn mother. And he was so drunk, he passed out halfway through. That was the last time he came over.
never thought I'd hear that from you.
Right? I mean, how long has it been since we've seen each other? 2 years? We've seen some shit, man. But I guess that's the thing. We'll always be kids to each other. That's what's so great about college. You get to meet new people, and you never think about how you used to play in the sandbox together. So it's not so weird when you hook up with them.
I think it's weirder.
You do?
Yeah, the people you meet when you first go to college, you don't have the faintest idea about 99% of their lives. So you're constantly trying to construct your own identity and at the same time trying to figure out what everyone else's deal is, and it's just exhausting. Everything is new and exciting, but you have no idea what to do. That's the worst part. Sometimes no.
What?
I don't know, Hallie. Sometimes I wonder if I'm really better off. Like, college is supposed to be this place where you go through this radical change and try to find yourself, but mostly I feel like I've just lost sight of who I am. It's like when I started college, my future was like this huge landscape painting of a beautiful sunset. And now it's still the same painting, only it's dark out.
Joey, shut up. You are 100% completely and totally fine. Honestly, just to look at you right now, to see how far you've come, it makes me want to cry.
You really mean that?
Yeah. I think we cast the most judgment on ourselves because we think we can take it.
So, do you keep in touch with anyone from high school?
Not really. Sometimes I hang out with Maddie, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, Maddie, how is she?
She's fine. She's dating a girl now.
Oh. You went abroad, right? You do anything crazy?
Not really. I mostly just went to museums, ate croissants, walked back and forth across the sun. It was pretty solitary, to be honest. But not lonely. Solitary. Solitary.
Do you have any, like, epiphanies about yourself?
Yeah, kind of.
How do you kind of have an epiphany?
You come upon it slowly. Anyway, I was in London for the weekend.
Wait, what weekend?
I don't know, sometime in October.
Okay, but what day was it?
It was the weekend before Halloween, and Halloween was on a Friday that year, so the 25th.
Holy shit. I was in London too. Why didn't you let me know you were going to be there?
If you were going to Paris, would you have said anything to me?
Well, okay. So you're kind of epiphany.
Right. So it's Saturday night, and I've run out of touristy things to do, and I'm sitting in this little coffee shop on Regent Street, just like this one, and I'm messaging Allison. She's my friend who went to London the year before me, and I'm asking about things to do, and she says that I have to see a show, and I have no idea what's playing, so I ask her for a recommendation. So there I am, sitting in this dark theater, and as I was seeing this play that I knew absolutely nothing about, something just clicked. It was a long click, and it kept clicking. And it didn't have anything to do with the play at all, but I figured it out. From then on, I was absolutely certain about what I wanted to do with my life. I want to work with people who have a different understanding of the world. To help them, I suppose. But it's not just that. I want to try to see things the way they do.
God,
Hmm?
what show did you see?
This thing called The Curious Incident
Of
of
the dog in the nighttime. God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is too weird. This is so weird. Hallie, I was in that theater too.
Seriously.
That was the night I realized I wanted to be a director. So, don't you think it's a little strange that these things keep happening to us?
Things?
Like that happened and then we got matched up on, well, never thought I'd see you on there.
Come on, Joey, just say it. Tinder. We met on Tinder. It's not that embarrassing.
Yeah, okay, we met on Tinder. So, I think this is like fate or something?
I think fate is just something people hide behind when they're too afraid to actually live. But there's definitely something going on. There's gotta be, right? We're like a pair of magnets. We've formed such a strong bond over time that even though we get pulled apart, it never really stays that way for long. We'll always find a way back to each other. It's just physics.
So, like, what do you think would have happened if we'd kept dating? Do you think things would have been better? Because that's always been sort of the maybe for me, you know, looking back.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't think we'd still be together. I really did love you. But do I think things would have been better? Maybe. For a while, at least. Us being together wouldn't have solved everything. There would have been problems too. We all like to think that if we were with the perfect person, all our fears and anxieties would melt away just like that, and nothing else would matter. We'd have this tiny corner of the world where we could say, fuck everyone else and just hide forever. But that's not how it works. You've got to try to deal with your life, or else you'll end up miserable and alone.
You're right, but it is nice to think about, isn't it?
I guess. But I do know one thing for sure. If we'd gone out, you wouldn't be the person you are now. So maybe it did work out for the best.
Maybe. Oh, I almost forgot. I brought you a snack.
These are a lot drier than I remember.
They go down pretty well with a glass of milk.
Most things do.
Do you remember our date?
Of course.
God, that was a disaster. I don't think I've ever puked that much in my entire life. And then they asked us to leave before we could even order because I gotten puke all over the toilet seat and the floor and even a little bit over on the walls. Sorry. And I thought I'd blown it. I thought you'd never want to talk to me again. But then we walked home. You didn't say anything. You just smiled and loved. And you held on to me the whole way. Then we went back to my house. I changed out of my clothes and you put them in the laundry for me. And then you got me some mouthwash and told me to rinse my mouth out in the bathroom. Then I went back into my bedroom and you kissed me. And you opened your mouth and used your tongue. Then I knocked my teeth into your teeth. I was so scared. I thought that any moment could be the end, that you'd turn on me. Then I told
And
you.
you told me that you weren't ready to be with me in the way I wanted. The kissing and everything, you said. I was crying.
You looked so beautiful when you cried. I know that it's probably wrong and stupid of me to think, but I want to believe it, that you are the prettiest crying girl of all time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You remember, Hallie?
I remember.
Wasn't it great?